Hello, welcome to Great Student YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing great. So today we are going to talk about Anthem for Doomed Youth. So here is the poem, 14 lines poem written by Wilfred Owen. Wilfred Owen was an English poet and soldier regarded by many as the leading poet of the First World War period. So he was a teacher before he enlisted in the Artist Rifles and was sent to France in 1917, the worst war winter. Soon after going into action, he was declared unfit because of shell shock and moved to a war hospital near Edinburgh. There he met another great poet, Siegfried Sassoon, who inspired him to develop his war poetry. After being declared fit, Owen returned to France to fight again. On November 4th, just 7 days before the ceasefire was declared, Owen was caught in a German machine gun attack and killed. His war poetry is based on about 5 weeks on the front lines and just about 4 months of total war experience. So these 14 lines of poem actually explains us about the monstrous war that have taken lives of many young youth. So Anthem for Doomed Youth by Wilfred Owen is a poem that reflects on the tragedy and futility of war, particularly focusing on the experience of soldiers during World War I. The poem explores several themes. So here I am pointing down few points to easily understand and remember the points here of the poem. So let's understand the poem. So the poem is about loss of youth. The poem emphasizes the youth of soldiers who are sent to fight and die in war. It mourns the loss of young lives and the potential they had before being cut short by conflict. The soldiers are nowhere responsible for the conflict, but then the young people, the young soldiers died. They had a long life to live, but they have died in the war, which was not even their own conflict. And one contrasts the lack of traditional funeral rites in the battlefield. The youth are just killed and thrown away. They are not even given a respectful funeral which a civilian life receives. Lack of mourning explains. Owen contrasts the lack of traditional funeral rites and mourning rituals on the battlefield with the solemnity and respect afforded to the dead in civilian life. The soldiers are denied the dignified and send-off they deserve, instead being met with the monstrous anger of the guns. Horror of war. Owen vividly depicts the horror of war, portraying the battlefield as a place of chaos and violence, where soldiers die in anonymity and suffering. The poem conveys the senseless destruction and waste of human life brought about by the war. Impact of humanity on the situation. The poem explores the psychological and emotional toll of war on soldiers, highlighting their suffering and trauma. They knew they are going to be killed or they are going to be injured. There is going to be destruction, and still they go forward for the country. It questions the value of war and the sacrifice demanded of young men who are often sent into battlefield without fully understanding the consequences. Overall, the Anthem for Doomed Youth is a powerful anti-war poem that seeks to evoke empathy and understanding for the soldiers who perished in World War I, while also condemning the senseless violence and loss of life caused by the war. Throughout the poem, Owen uses symbolic language to convey the sense of loss and tragedy, such as candles being replaced by the glowworms and the dying of the light symbolizing the premature deaths of the soldiers. As the soldiers haven't received their rightful funeral rites, the candles are replaced by glowworms. The glowworms in the battlefield are representing the candles for the dead. The poem concludes with a somber reflection on the ongoing mourning for the fallen soldiers, with the image of each slow dusk, a drawing down of blinds, evoking a sense of perpetual sorrow and loss. There was nothing left but sorrow and loss of lives at the end of the war. Overall, we see Anthem for Doomed Youth is a powerful anti-war poem that captures the tragedy and waste of young lives in the context of World War I. So I hope this helps you all. Study well. All the best for your exams. Take care. Do listen to the audios so that at least you might remember some points from the above while you are writing your exam. So if you do not get time, at least listen to these videos and audios, so it might help you guys. Thank you so much. Subscribe and follow my channel for more updates, for more lessons. Thank you. Bye bye. All the best.